This poem is entitled Perfection Brutalized. I stand at the fringe of eternity, watching my soul ascend to 1,000 shrouds of screaming ecstasy, and then I taste the tainted blood, followed by epic illusion of rotting purple bones, synthesized before the secret panda bears entwined, only by the silence of society's pivotal crimson anguish. And I stop to ask myself, what the fuck am I talking about? You know, I try my best to be one of these deep poets, but the more I try, the stupider I sound. The other month, I saw this 14-year-old kid preach poetic soliloquies about the decrease of peace in the Middle East and how society's morals continually decrease while I'm practically a legal adult and still versing about the marvels of masturbation. I see inspired poets fighting out against injustices in America like Prop 21, the ban on affirmative action in the juvenile justice system. Well, I'm still hung up on the Batman-Superman adventure being canceled. Why can't I be one of these deep, complex, pessimistic poets who wears their little black sweaters and sips their little mugs of coffee? I spent hour after hour digging for depth, anger, truth, and light, and spirituality, some kind of deep philosophy that will help me reach my goal of poetic fame and prophecy. I tried writing a poem from the viewpoint of an angry black person. I mean, hey, a couple episodes of Moesha. Down cold. But when I read it aloud to some black kids, I ended up going home with 2 black eyes. How the hell was I supposed to know Tupac died? I was on a quest to do my best and strive toward my goal, even if it meant I wouldn't rest. So I decided I'd try to pull off the whole feminist thing. After all, I do like females. But then I remembered I am a sexist asshole, and besides, my next scheme was to write my feelings on growing up a closet homosexual. But I knew I could never pull that off because gay people are so damn nice and, well, prick. I continued down the list one by one, searching for my true essence, always ending in failure and illogical and puns, and it was around the time I was writing my trials and tribulations on growing up a pudgy, autistic Korean immigrant in the 20s when I found my true complexity in life. The one single thing that caused me the most strife, tearing my emotions in half like a rusted knife. I was born into this world with the misfortune of being a rich Jewish white kid with a perfect life. Oh. Now I know it might not sound all that shitty, but believe me, I couldn't imagine more worse of a destiny. Sometimes I hear these sob stories about kids growing up in the projects without a father and a mother on crack, and how hard their life is. Try sitting through a 3-hour bar mitzvah, you fucking cry. My math teacher recommended the class we got by TIE 3 calculators. I went all out. I bought the TIEs. When I begged for grades, no one's impressed because I'm a rich white kid. It's not like my parents are both college professors. Oh wait, yeah they are. But that's besides the point. We suck at sports. We owned golf for a while, but then Tiger Woods fucked that up. Like a school fire alarm. They're loud and annoying and they never turn off.
Sexist asshole!
I have to constantly listen to them talking about, you know, I don't know anymore. My life's really fucked up right now. Derek and I only talked on the phone for an hour and a half. We talked for 2. Parents, they don't get them in sob for another another weekend. And on top of that, Becky has the same mango guava body time lotion as I do. Idea how hard it is for us white guys to get laid? What did you hear? Oh my God. There goes that monkey and Packard in his monster. So fine. I heard he has a TI-86. From the trailer park to be white trash, just walking to my AP math class, where you listen to these little schmucks who never shut the hell up about what I believe they've heard from that week, or how they scored 50-50 on their SAT and attending Stanford. Is their destiny crying over B- on tests with minds so geared for success they couldn't even begin to contemplate the true meaning of happiness? You think it's easy growing up in this environment? This one girl who lives up the street from me couldn't handle the pressure anymore. One night while watching that movie Selena on cable, she went berserk. She came to school the next day with a Mexican accent. She's been attending to common Latino graduation meetings ever since. So the next time you hear me reading a poem about how hard and complex my life is, and you ask yourself, what does he have to be unhappy about? Simply realize that my deep scars of mental anguish aren't really lies, but come from 17 years of perfection through the lies.
Well, it's about 10:15 in the evening on May 25th, 2001. I'm at the end of my first week of working on Puffin up in Hoona. The sun went down about 3/4 of an hour ago. Temperature's about 39, and you see these two eagles sitting there on the pilings of the Hoona Harbor. I'll just pan around the harbor in the dusk here. I'm up at the top of the boat ramp, standing by the dumpster. I got here on Monday after visiting Suzanne and baby Jacob and Michael on Sunday. And as usual, everything takes much, much longer than you think on the boat. I'm just going to pan around the harbor here. Let's see, the things, I spent a day working on the Wabasco heater. I got that going. I got the radar up and working. That was successful. The engine started up once I figured out that I hadn't properly turned on the fuel valves. There was no mildew in the boat, but a lot of the varnish had raised off the T-cap rails. So I had to scrape that. It rained most of the week, so it was difficult getting any dry weather to put on some Sea-Tall. Yesterday afternoon and today were the first dry days. Today was a beautiful day. Today I worked for 6 hours trying to install a new automatic bilge pump switch, and after it was all in, real nice installation, tried out the switch, the damn thing didn't work. It worked once and then burned out. So I'm going to have to carry it back to Berkeley and see if I can get a new one and redo it when I come up again. Anyhow, things are in pretty good shape. Now I'm going to go home tomorrow morning and come back here on June 15th with Juan. The boat was real dirty on the outside, lots of algae and mold, and I hired 2 kids, 13 and 15, and paid them $10 an hour, and they worked for 3 hours cleaning up the outside of the boat. They were the children of Judy and Brian Bitts. I also hired Brian, who's a diver, to clean the bottom of the boat and put on new zincs. The zincs have been on there now for 12 months, and they were pretty well shot. The one on the rudder had fallen off. The others were about half gone. So they do last for 12 months at least. Brian charged $200 for the job. He used a tank and a half of gas. Okay, well tomorrow I go back to Berkeley and hopefully we'll take off. We'll continue this in 2.5 weeks. I was just going to quit, but this strange contraption just came up. It's a homemade barge, and it's got a tractor on it. Maybe it came from the religious commune. And I thought maybe they're going to take the tractor off, or maybe they're going to load that forklift up. That's the boat ramp for launching boats here at Kahuna Harbor. Kind of an interesting operation. It's going right down into the water. Well, you don't have to be a professional tugboat person. I think I'll quit now. Today's June 18th, 2001. We're just leaving Hoona. It's the first day of the cruise of 2001. The plan is to go from Hoona to Elfin Cove tonight, followed by Pelican the next day, and then going out on the west side of Chichikov Island down to Sitka. It's a beautiful day. Few clouds, mostly sunshine. Juan and I came up 2 days ago and have had nothing but good weather. Got the boat put together, got some sea towel put on. Everything's put away and hopefully we'll have no problems. The sea is quite calm. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning and we need to be at South Indian Pass at about 6 o'clock to catch slack water. So here's our crew. Ava's ready for the ship to sink.
No.
She has her life jacket on, like a smart person, whereas Juan and I will die. But that's life.
I'm cold, that's why I'm wearing it.
Oh, that's smart. That's very smart.
We're wishing to see whales.
Yeah, we're looking out for
Yeah,
waves.
maybe we'll see a whale. And then we'll make whale hamburger. We're just off the Messier Island and we came upon 3 humpbacks that are bubble netting. And they're doing some pretty spectacular jumping. Kind of hard not to take videos of them. We're still on our way from Hoona to Elfin Cove. We slowed down and trolled for about an hour and a half around Point Adolphus. We watched some whales. Didn't hook up into anything. The sea's been really calm. Quite a contrast to when we came through here 2 years ago with Steve Blumenkrantz and Ben and Nate when it was really blowing and rough on Dancer. We sure can shoot up a lot of videos of whales. Well, you get the idea, gang. It's a real thrill. Whoa! That was something close. You can hear the splashes. When I I zoom out, there's not a big enough field of view to... Oh well. Come back here. Oh, right. Let's try this guy. And then we'll quit. There we go. I think we'll save the tape. Alaska, 2001. We're still on our way to Elephant Cove, and it occurred to me that it's really easy to just not look at the scenery, because you look at this all day long. And it's really spectacular. Just by any stretch of the imagination. Awfully nice to look at. We've just come out of the Indian Passage, North Indian Passage, and we're now out in the open Pacific, and that's the Fairweather range of mountains off in the distance. Mount Fairweather, I think, is 13,000 to 15,000 feet high, and it's 50 miles away. That would be that big peak there. And you can see the, I think that's the Brady Glacier coming down to the sea. The ocean is perfectly benign, and I'm going to try and fish. We've seen a lot of whales today, and in about an hour we'll probably be in Elephant Cove. So far, so good. Today's June 20th, 2001. We came yesterday afternoon to the to the village of Pelican. I'm in the harbor. Pelican just has a long boardwalk going all around the little bay, and houses and a few shops and cannery are built on the boardwalk. Better get another vantage point. The main street, our main walk. Lake's been there and continues about another quarter mile. Across from town, this beautiful range of mountains. This is the view from the cannery looking back towards town. That's the cannery, which is now closed. The business that unloads fishing boats. The salmon come in from the trollers, and they're packed on ice and put into those insulated boxes, and then they're shipped out either on an airplane, I suppose, or a reasonably fast boat. The idea is to get the fish to market, of course, as soon as possible, because those are so-called fresh king salmon. But the boats stay out as much as 4 days, so they might have been on ice for 4 days. See how that's done. Basket gets lowered down, and he picks up his kings, puts them in, tackles them up, weighs them, pays them, and off he goes again. But we're going to push off in a few minutes and eat breakfast underway, head out Lisiansky Strait into the ocean. I just came up here to get a weather forecast and said there's 15 to 20 knot easterly winds, so the sea should be pretty small. Ava,
Uh-huh.
you want to turn and explain what you're doing?
I am washing a fatty dish clean with hot water, luxurious hot water.
Nothing but luxury here in Alaska.
Yeah. Richard made such a nice meatloaf. So now we have to clean.
Well,
Look how shiny, with joy.
Wow. That's so clean we won't use it again.
No.
We're in a little bay, I think, called Kazan Bay. And we had quite a bumpy hour and a half this morning. We came out of Lisiansky Strait, which was rainy and foggy, but still flat. And as soon as we got out on the ocean, there was about 6-foot seas and relatively short wavelength, so we bounced and rolled like crazy. None of us felt very good, and that went on for about an hour and a half. And then we got in off the sea, and I grabbed the first anchorage that was available, and we put down the hook, and all took nice snaps. We were pretty exhausted. That's the remains of an old gold mine, according to the guidebook. Somebody's dreams, now abandoned. Looks rather picturesque over there on the shore.
We saw a seal.
Yeah, and well, what did we see in Lisiansky this morning?
Saw a killer whales,
Yeah.
orcas.
Yeah, so
3 of them.
nice family.
Yeah,
Nice family. The family that swims together stays together.
that's right. Etc., etc.
Okay. So the weather seems to be lifting a little bit. Hopefully when we go out in the ocean another time it'll be much better. That's where we came in from. Well, we just caught a 20-pound king salmon on our way to Sitka, and that's the Argentinian Swedish celebration dance.
Let's go the salmon celebration.
Notice the fancy footwork. Today's June 24th, and I'm just leaving Sitka. The Pampanados left this morning, and Mac and Suzanne Lingo boarded. I'll try and stand around and show you a little bit of the Sitka scenery. Sitka's back that way. Those mountains are across from Sitka. And it's just this little cat boat. First boat I've seen sailing. I think it's a local boat. Very picturesque there. Okay, we'll see what the next week has in store for us as we head towards Petersburg. Well, today's the 26th of June. I've just left Appleton Cove on Terrell Straits, heading for Chatham Straits and then Baranof Hot Springs. Mac and Suzanne Lingo are on board. Last night in Appleton Cove, I set the crab pot, and Mac caught a little bottom fish, a sculpin, and we put it in, caught one big crab. Then a crab fisherman came around who was pulling his pots, and he gave us 3 big crabs in exchange for some tuna fish casserole, and then I pulled my trap again and had another big one. So now Mac and Suzanne are sitting on the after deck, cracking all that crab, and we're going to have a crab omelet and probably crab salad for lunch. This morning, dawn, absolutely gorgeous. It's about the clearest day I've seen all summer in Alaska. Warm, sunny, beautiful snow-capped mountains. So Puffin's doing just fine. We're all doing just fine. Mac is on crutches because he had a recent knee operation. So his mobility is quite a bit restrictive, but he's hanging in there and doing okay. It'd be nice if we could get up to the hot springs today. They're doing their duty there. Carrying all the
Famous
crap.
movie camera, huh?
Huh?
The famous movie camera.
Yeah.
Documentary.
Suzanne, take the lid off the pot. That's what 4 big Dungeness looks like after they're all cooked up.
Schooling. My favorite. Crab, lobster, clams, salmon. It's any fine French gourmet. I used to make crab quite a bit on Shabbat in the old days.
You made crab on Shabbat?
Yeah, because I used to make either steak or crab, because I figured Friday night was sort of a day of rest, right? And it's a real easy meal.
Shit, gotta work.
Pork chocks for breakfast and crab for dinner. So it's still June 26th, and we're approaching Baranof Hot Springs, and came upon this purse seiner making a set. I took a video of something like this last year with Stefano. I just caught off of Hidden Falls. We trolled for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I caught a nice little coho, just perfect for dinner for us. You won't have to throw him anything at all, I don't think. And there's the purse coming in. Occasionally, you'll see a fish jump in there. This takes a while, and finally it's right at the very end that you finally see the fish. There's the skiff pulling on the fishing boat. So they're getting down near the end now. What a pretty picture. The guys in the orange suits and beautiful weather. Snow-capped mountains all around. Silver, what are they called? Silver gold? Silver treasure. Today's June 27th, and we've just entered Red Bluff Bay off of Chatham Strait. It's another beautiful day. Yesterday afternoon and evening we spent at Baranof Hot Springs. You can see the blue sky. Chatham Strait was a little lumpy. Mac got a little queasy, took a Dramamine and went to sleep. See if you can see. Can't see the driver. It's too bad that the video has such a narrow field of view. You can kind of get the sense that this is a Yosemite-like region. Kind of like a long, narrow mountain lake with mountains on both sides. The reddish color of the rock is what gives the place the name Red Bluff. From out to Chatham Straits, the entrance has a kind of a big red rock on the right. We're going to head down that way where around the corner there's an anchorage. We got a couple of crab this morning off the crab boat. They've been cooked and we'll have those for lunch. We had fresh salmon last night. So we're kind of eating good off the land. I should mention that there's a number of waterfalls cascading down here. There's one there. And we just passed the other one right back there. They're probably as tall as Yosemite. Maybe even taller. Wonderful scenery. Well, it's June 28th. This is the waterfall in Red Bluff Bay. I guess it's about 1,000 feet high. If you saw my video for last year, you would have seen it. We had a quiet night at anchor. It rained all night. And we're going to head across to the Pickle Islands this morning. You can see, yesterday was blue sky. It's opening up now. That's the backdrop to where we were anchored last night. Mount Rademacher, which is 4,400 feet, was just behind us. Very pretty mountain. So we'll see what today brings.
It's on the starboard. There's two little tiny birdies out there swimming.
I see an odd bird on the port side.
Yeah, I'm looking at you and recording.
Okay, it says record?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is June 27th, 2001, and you may be wondering why this fishing pole is bent over. Well, this fishing pole is bent over because there's a large animal on the other end. It is not a mammal. It is not a reptile. It is a halibut. The length of time it took to catch this halibut was approximately 15 seconds. I should say that's the length of time it took to hook the halibut. The halibut is a large fish, which is all muscle, and it's very, very fine eating. But this fish is probably too big for me to lift out of the water, and we have no way of keeping it. So we'd like to let it go, but I'd like to get my lure back because it cost $8.50. We just had the fish up next to the boat, and I put the gaff in it and got him about 2/3 out of the water, but he was too heavy for me to get on board, and he slipped away and the gaff came out, but the lure was still in him. So now I'm bringing him back up to the surface again, and then maybe the video camera will be able to at least see what a large halibut looks like. And then Suzanne is going to jump in the water and take the hook out of the fish's mouth and let him go.
Loyalty to one
This
skipper
is
only goes so far.
sort of a sequel to Free Willy. He was up at the surface here for about 10 minutes, and then after I gaffed him, he didn't like that, so he dove. Oh, not exactly your little Sunday afternoon rainbow trout. The halibut doesn't fight. It's just a big resistance that you feel. And then when he gets up near the surface, now I can see him coming up. When he gets up near the surface, then he just decides to dive again. I hope, there he is. I don't know if you can see this fish. Be careful with Mac's camera. Let's see his backside. There you can see, nice big white halibut side there.
He's about 4 feet long
Yeah.
and weighs, get a guess, 60 pounds.
Okay, so Suzanne's gonna jump in the water now. Get this fish.
My goodness, he expects obedience, doesn't he?
All right. So let's see, what should I do? I don't know, Mac.
I'm not sure that you can do much more than cut the line.
Look at the tongue, my God. There's the, is that a tongue?
Yeah.
Tongue.
Jesus. That tongue again.
Well, if Steve Blumenkrantz were here, Steve would insist that we take this halibut and he'd take it home. I can see the hook just going in one side.
But how
of
would he
his
get it
cheek and
home
out the
without
other.
refrigeration or?
You'd refrigerate it. You go to someplace like Una, or a town where there's a fish packing place. This is what all these people come up to
Yep.
spend $1,000 a day for, and they send it back.
Yep. Well, if you had a place to take it, we'd take it home. Let's take it to Rose. Filial gift. Look at that eyeball.
You notice both eyes are on the same side of his head. It's a flatfish, like a
Yeah,
flounder.
isn't that weird?
Well, they think it's weird that we have one on either side. That's easily 60 pounds.
Easy. Maybe quite a bit more. What do you think?
No.
I'd like to get
Well,
another.
I've got in the, it is.
That was a
well.
good shot when you dragged him across on the white side and got the top.
I wonder if I could, you know, if I could, Mac, if I could hold his head out of the water and then go in with so that the fishing line went slack, and then go in with the pliers.
He's not going to stay still.
Yeah.
I mean, you just release, just see what's going to happen when you let tension off a line. Do it. See what he does.
If I could hold.
See how fast he goes
rod.
down.
Yeah.
You're never going to take tension off of him.
That's amazing.
Well, he's not dead yet, folks, but I just flicked him into the boat. Now when he's pretty well exhausted, I'm going to take the hook out of his mouth. He's 54 inches long, and I don't know, you want to name him, Mac?
Call him Sam.
Sam. Sam the halibut. Here goes, I'm going to go after the hook now. Well, this is the morning of June 30th, and we're leaving Portage Bay. We're about 4 hours from Petersburg. It's an absolutely stellar morning. It's hard shooting into the sun. Off there in the distance is the famous Devil's Thumb. That mountain is about 50 miles away. Mac and Suzanne Lingo are still aboard. They've had superb weather. I think we had just a little bit of rain one evening. Otherwise, it's been clear. I think the most interesting thing was, as you probably just saw in this video, although it was 2 days ago, was catching Harriet the halibut. And now I'm suffering the ill effects of that, because when we brought Harriet on board, I got my lure out and decided I wanted to weigh it. So I put it on my scale and tried to lift it. And I didn't know it at the time, but it seems like I've strained my back, so now I'm sort of moving pretty slowly. The weight of Harriet was off scale on the scale. The scale only went up to 50 pounds. So I measured the length of the fish, which was 54 inches. And then there's a book or a page in the tide table that converts length of halibut into pounds. So according to that table, Harriet weighed 77 pounds, so that's by far the biggest fish I've ever caught. Well, we're going to continue on this morning to Petersburg. Pancakes are being cooked in the cabin. The Lingos will leave in a couple of days, and I'll be working on the boat for a week. So it looks like so ends the second week of the cruise of Puffin for 2002. Let me just pan around these pretty mountains. Wonderful conditions to be motoring in. When it's clear in Alaska, the scenery can't be anything but the best in the world. To see ranges of snow-capped mountains with water surrounding them, that juxtaposition of those two elements, the scenery like that. The video, of course, has a narrow field of view, and it can't pick up what your eye picks up. Your eye can pick up all the way from there, all the way over to about there. Okay, well, tune in a week when I expect Evan Hankin and Steve Blumenkrantz to be aboard. Today's the 2nd of July. You're looking at the cabin of Puffin, 1/3 way, a fairly major engine repair. That's the engine with the with the cylinder head off. It just worked for 2 hours with Otto, disconnecting all the different paraphernalia connected to the cylinder head, and fortunately so far there's no problems. So Otto's off now with the cylinder head back at John Wecon Enterprises, grinding the valves. One thing that we found was that I've been having a problem with the oil pressure dropping after about an hour running time. Well, I can see that the coolant comes out of the hot water tank right into the oil cooler, and so that oil cooler should just be getting cool water from the heat exchanger. So we're going to reroute that, and maybe that plus a lower temperature thermostat will solve that problem. It would be great if I don't need the whole engine rebuilt. So progress was pretty good. It just took 2 hours for the two of us to unscrew everything and to take it off. There's an awful lot of tubes and an awful lot of wires, so I hope that we'll remember to get everything back into position. That's kind of a big unknown. While Otto and I work on the engine, there's a whole lot of children on the dock. It's 2 days before the 4th of July, and it's a little fishing contest for little kids. Each kid has to use a hand line with one hook and one lure, and they have to bait it themselves and do everything themselves. Maybe a parent can help take a fish off. So this is probably the 6 to 8 year old group. There's a little munchkin there. A couple little munchkins there. Fishing's a real important thing in Petersburg, so they start them young. The fish they catch look like little tiny fingerling trouts. There used to be a lot of herring here in previous years, but now they're all getting little trouts. There's a guy who's too young to participate. This is what the street looks like going from the marina up to Main Street. There's the cannery on my left. It's going all the time. They pack the fish on ice in those refrigerated semis and then take them to the ferry, I guess. So we're approaching the corner of Main Street. See, everybody's gathered for the parade. Here we are on Main Street. The parade's supposed to start in 15 minutes. Various kinds of booths selling stuff. I just had a homemade bagel with homemade smoked salmon. One side. Looking around here. There's the other end, Main Street. Way up there on the hill, that's where folks are getting ready for the parade. It's a great day in Petersburg. Typical drizzly skies, people ignoring it. They're selling food up and down. A lot of Korean barbecue. By the way, there's Hammer and Wecon, a great store. John Wecon and the same family own the engine shop at Carolina Engine. It's a great hardware store and housewares, and outside of town they have a big supermarket. I spend a lot of time going back and forth on this street. We're going to have some fry bread right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
how's the job?
Gee, no homemade jam next time. I have some in there. Bring some rhubarb jam. Oh, good thing I said something. I know, busy and forgot.
We have to get rid of quite a few people.
Sarah, did you want one?
That was a manual focus.
No, I'm waiting for the rhubarb jam. He's a horrible driver. Sure. Oh, I want one too. Sure. This is a line.
Fried bread is a native staple. Just go and fry it in hot oil. Then you put maple syrup on or strawberry jam or whatever. Well, tension is mounting here in Petersburg. About 5 or 10 minutes until the parade starts. I just ate my fried bread, covered with homemade rhubarb jam. Yes, sir. Pretty good turnout for a town of about 2,000 people. Sorry, everybody's here. This lady came by and gave us all little American flags to wave. There's the grandstand. They're all expecting a parade. Yes, sir. Small town America. Thanks, Santa Fe.
Storage. Starts the music.
There's a native lady. It's raining and she's out here in a walker. She's going to enjoy the parade. Just sitting in her little walker there. It's just minutes before the start of the parade. The tension is unbearable. Thank God for the calming music. Guide her, and guide her from above the mountain to the valley. Now got our little flag. God bless America, home sweet home. By the way, it's raining. These are the locals. Absolutely no rain gear. And these are your tourists. Head to toe and Vortex are all set. I'm half tourist. I got Vortex tops with blue jean bottoms. Notice, by the way, that the sidewalks are covered with awnings. That is not to keep the sun off yet. It's over 300 days of rain here in Petersburg. And that's the main thing that makes people move away. Otherwise, it's a great town. There it starts.
So we're looking at this log splitter.
All right, here comes our parade.
Yesterday at the Gallery Mountain.
Led by the Coast Guard Color Guard.
I always take my hat off still. I don't do it anymore, but I'm good at that. I won't video all of this, just the highlights.
I can sure tell you're not the
Here's one to all the generations of Petersburg fire and
Okay. We're here to
Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, there's one next to it. I passed by them. They were making this puzzle. We were running. Okay.
Okay, the first cup float coming down is the Presbyterian Church float.
Oh, that's the most precious thing I ever saw. Okay. Whoa! Oh, that's so adorable. All right.
Play Bella Davis, Mike and Trike.
Whoa, what do we got here? What a county for Christ.
And then we have the Liberty float.
Okay.
Impressive, that's the December town.
That's so cute.
You keep on that corner, want to move back so the float can turn up the hill? Judy, you want to move it back so the left float will head going up the hill?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, these must be the sons of Norway. Here you go.
Give one of those away.
Little Viking princess.
I don't know if these are
Then we have the Alaska National Guard. Say, is that car pretty tough to pull through this float line here? The next walkers here is Squirrel Hill neighborhood. A living sea is a shining sea.
Prayer hut. how an expert fillets a hell of it. I'm inside the cold storage tank in Petersburg while the freight just ended outside. Now this fella just cuts the meat off the skin. Well, the parade's over. Now everybody's just kind of hanging out downtown to see and be seen. The Korean barbecue. I just had scrumptious fresh strawberry shortcake with homemade whipped cream on top. No. I think it's the whole town out. By the way, the Seine fleet is in. There was an opener a few days ago. Boats were out, and now everybody's back in. That's what first Seiners look like. It was earlier in this video. There was a picture of one of them sitting in that. Petersburg has probably the biggest and best first Seine fleet in Southeast Alaska. And here's a good idea to make money. Class of 2003. Where do you get to throw sponges at? His favorite teachers. Here's the list. What's your favorite teacher? Must be Mr. Troutman, who's in there. This is the start of the first game of the afternoon. It is the 6 and under, foot race, I guess. They're all lined up.
All right. You got any for me?
No.
Again.
Catch her again.
Kent. These guys have been training now for...
Are you guys ready, Ken?
We got a new banner.
Those who get the concept.
I say go. Hey, you guys, are you ready down there? Wave your hand if you're ready.
All right, I'll see how
Raise your hand.
Okay, everybody, let's get back from this finish line. Let's back up a little bit. Need to give them some room to run.
Okay, you guys? Runners? You guys come here. Watch me, sweetie. Watch me.
Gonna get
Watch me.
trampled.
You guys, come up here. You guys ready? You're gonna run down to those orange cones, okay? Way down there. See those? Okay. Get set, go. Run. Go, go, go.
They're off.
Here they come.
First across. Sorry. This is the second heat. These kids are a little older. Okay, that's the last thing on stand-up.
hanging out, watching the kids race.
It's the girls. Maybe it's the girls.
Nowhere to go. Dangle a piece of candy.
Heat number 2 of the 6 and under girls. On your mark, get set, go! Run!
They're off.
You girls go! Run!
You can do it. Keep going. You're off. Come on, you can make it. Make it. Come on. Come on. No athlete there. Taking the boots off.
So Marvel probably
night. Today is July 9th, 2000. Evan Hankins, Steve Blumenkrantz, and I are just leaving port protection. Little tiny fishing community at the north end of Prince of Wales Island. Last night we spent the evening about 4 miles from here in Point Baker and got there just in time for a jambalaya dinner. It was very nice and very good. Yesterday Steve hooked 3 salmon, but none of them came on board. This morning he got us a nice coho. It's been real rainy the last 4 or 5 days, ever since Petersburg, but this morning opened up with some nice blue sky and white fluffy clouds, and it hasn't rained yet, but I'm sure it'll rain during the day. These little fishing hamlets are pretty funky things. They're populated by ex-hippies, I think, and ex-Vietnam vets that just couldn't hack it in the lower 48. We're on our way to a spot called Hole in the Wall. There's some of the houses along the shore. A couple of really nice ones. I like that one up in the tree. People sure like their privacy around here, but they like their community too.
I ain't got any more weight.
Yeah, I know you do.
I'm working too. You want the whole bottom cleaned?
Yeah, as much as you can. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I could maybe just get the little surface.
Yeah, maybe you should.
No, no. The more I'd like it all clean. So, why don't you just take off the weight belt and we'll load it up?
Oh, that's an idea.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Now, once you do that, you're going to be floating on the surface like
Jesus Christ.
a sea otter.
I'll be walking on the water.
All right.
Does the snorkel do you any real good?
Huh?
Does
yeah.
the snorkel do you any real good?
No,
Okay.
I don't like it, but I don't know if I'll need it or not. I'll see.
Okay.
Ah!
Is it salty?
Hey, if I take this off, are these weights gonna fall off?
You don't have audio on that, do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so no swear words. Get me out of this fucking outfit. The things you gotta do to get a trip to Alaska nowadays. I knew I should have taken a cruise instead of gone on the Puffin.
You know, I could have bought a lot thinner wetsuit, Steve.
Yeah, I think so.
Costco had one for $80.
Okay,
So you may want the snorkel with the full weights now.
well, I'll see how it goes.
All right.
That's a full weight, huh?
You
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is all we have.
know, if you pee in the suit, you'll warm it all up.
Yeah, I know. But I peed before I got in.
So he doesn't have the rope now.
You know, the rope's on this side,
Yeah, I
so you should hold on.
I'm still able to float, but that feels better.
Good. I'm in Klawak. It's July 13th. This is more or less the last day of the section of the cruise with Evan and Steve Blumenkrantz. And I'm going to take you over to where some locals have just been doing subsistence fishing. They've gone out with 2 skiffs with a little seine right here in the harbor, right out in here. And they set the seine. Each family does this, and they get enough salmon for the winter. So those are sockeye, right?
Yeah.
Hello. What's your name?
Oh, Richard.
Oh, hi, Richard.
There's all the guys standing around. Those have just been cleaned.
Hey, Dennis.
They're
Dennis.
cleaning them right there. Everybody's in a good mood because they got a lot of fish. And we caught one for our dinner. Sockeye. Most of those will be canned and jarred, and some of them smoked. This is a native village, and they're allowed to take as many out of this bay as they want. Today's July 19th, and we're just off of Point Chacun, the southern tip of Prince of Wales Island. And this morning there's an opening for herring. So you've got half a dozen seiners, all in the same spot. Skiffs are in the water. Some of the nets are out. There's one going around right there. It's a good example of the skiff pulling it in. Here it is, down in the water. Better make sure I don't go into it. Closing the net. We were anchored up in Nichols Bay. Last hour or so was a bumpy ride coming south because we had the wind and the tide opposed. But we just bounced around a bit. Now we're on our way north. We're going to go about halfway to Ketchikan. Everybody's getting the net out now. It must have just opened. Look this way, Steve.
Hey, Dick.
This is an example.
Great day today.
This is an example of Steve Aminsky watching the seiners. Steve brought real nice weather with him from California.
Lucky charm.
We just got out of the swell by ducking behind Prince of Wales Island. So we'll see what's ahead of us today. Yep. Well, I didn't complain yesterday. Or the day before. Well, it's the 1st of August, 2001. It's been some time since I videotaped. I'm just leaving Pybus Bay, where we stayed in Cannery Cove. David Bunis boarded a day and a half ago. I would say he was the most difficult guest I've had in 6 years. Doesn't pitch in to help at all, and complains on everything. If you offer him spaghetti, first he asks what are the choices for dinner. Doesn't raise a hand to help. If you offer him spaghetti, he wants to know is there Parmesan. If you offer him meatloaf, he wants to know if there's mustard. If you say if there's mustard, he wants to know if there's jello. Anyhow, won't be the simplest week. Yesterday was a fairly filthy day. The passage to Pybus Bay had only about a mile visibility, and then when we got in there, it got very misty and rainy, so we had to just stay on board. The dinghy, I burned the front of the dinghy on the furnace outlet, and I put a patch on it and it's drying. David's urging me to blow it up and put it in, but if I blow it up prematurely, then I'll blow the patch and it won't be there for the Branchinis and Daniel. Anyhow, we'll just make the best of it. Last night there was a mega yacht in Cannery Cove, and a person in there, we heard a rescue call, a person in there had a seizure, a person who was on chemotherapy. Some doctors were in the bay, they went to their help, but then they did a med evacuation. None of any else went to lot. Okay. When you have a guest who's not appreciative, you certainly don't feel much like doing stuff. Like fishing and doing all the usuals. They were making fun of me because I told him to only use one paper towel to wrap the brownies, which he ate. There was one brownie left. He ate them after I went to bed. And then he used 3 paper towels to wrap up the one, and I asked him to please use one. And so I was the brunt of his joke. Anyhow, to say the least, he's willful, like some other people I know. Fortunately, most people are very willing to pitch in and go with the whole concept of the trip, and they're a lot of fun, and they do a lot for them. Okay, it's August 1st. We have a few more days to do now, and then it's the last week of the trip. Today's the 2nd of August, and I'm heading north on Stevens Passage. That's the Sumdum Glacier. That doesn't go down to the sea. I'm up on the flying bridge. This is looking north on Stevens Passage. A couple hours earlier there was a great deal of whale activity around us. That, by the way, is the State Ferry, I think. Lots of whale activities, maybe 15 whales all around us. One of them was breaching and coming straight out of, completely out of the water. So we're bound for Taco Harbor, which is about 20 miles south of Juneau. David leaves early Saturday morning. Today's Thursday, so if we get 20 miles from Juneau tonight, I'll just have to make another 20-mile jaunt for him to make his plane. Yesterday we had nice weather. Today it's nice as well. The temperature, I guess, is in the high 50s. As you can see in the video, the clouds are quite high. Just a little bit of rain, but I'm up in the flying bridge with my Vortex hat on and a polar guard jacket. It's very comfortable. Though we've got about another 30 miles to go. That's a good 5 hours, even if the tide is with us. So it'll be a long day today. In more ways than one. Okay. Sumdum Glacier, 2001. Well, there's another view of the Sumdum Glacier without that mountain in the way. And then there's the Alaska State Ferry in the foreground. See the kind of characteristic light blue color. Today's the 7th of August, and I'm with Daniel and Pierre and Bruno. This is the South Sawyer Glacier. The very, very big glacier. We're about 1 mile away from it, And now I will pan you over to something that's kind of interesting.
Me?
No. Let's see. If you've ever watched Channel 9, you'll know what that is. That is little baby sea lions. That boom you heard is the glacier. So all those sea lions are stretched out on the ice. We're going to go in and we're going to club some and sell their furs. Look at them all. Mother Nature won't miss a few. Daniel.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say? No. Is it cold?
It's a bit nippy. Which is why we should have some seal fur. I'd like to thank the forces that have put us here, for Richard for organizing this, and for me, because I spotted the seals.
Yeah, Daniel did spot the seals.
I saw the specks, and to the untrained eye, you think they're large prehistoric turds.
And did you get your training on Channel 9?
Did, and I knew that anytime you have lots of black spots with a other boat nearby, you know that it's something. So I used binoculars, 8 times powerful, looked in, saw them.
Well, we just saw that we were up at the North Sawyer Glacier, and we turned off the engine and drifted, and we had pasta with garlic and crab and pepperoncini, tomatoes, celery. Made my Piera. It was very good. Listening to guitar music.
It was definitely a moment, right?
It was definitely a moment.
And everything kind of balances together in a little moment. The right music, the right meal, the right scenery.
Yeah.
It's quiet. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you'd rather be here with me than with Julia Roberts.
That's actually true. She doesn't know her way around.
How about Kidman? What's her name? Kidman?
Yeah. No. There are times when they're better, but for right now, you're
Yeah. I know my way around.
you know what all the buttons do.
That's correct.
That's you know where to
Okay.
go. Wow.
Well, Piera and Bruno had gotten excited about seeing a few sea lions down in Monterey, so this ought to
Yeah, we show those.
notch them up a little bit.
Next time they'll side with the Americans in the war.
That's right. Definitely, we have the sea lions.
Hey,
Okay,
Germany doesn't have this.
I'm gonna go down now before we crash.
Per dargli cosa perché così vicino solo di quelle facce. Daniel? Sì,
Clearly,
sono
we're
qua.
a little closer now.
Non cadere.
Really spectaculare.
Yeah.
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 Well, we're still here at the South Sawyer Glacier. I'm sorry. Yeah, South Sawyer Glacier. There's this deep cave we're thinking about going into. But I figured Rose would say, "How dare you take my children in there?" So we won't do that. This thing is really, really big. Kodak moment. Shot about 4 pictures of Daniel, a couple of pictures of the sea lions. About every 5 minutes this calves. It drops a big chunk of ice in the water. Que bella. Alright. That's enough of the ice. Oop. Everybody wants a shot of ice dripping, but I'll do without it. It's sort of like a whale diving and flipping its tail. We're having a great time with the Bronzinis. We had 2 days of wonderful weather. Today started out foggy, but now the clouds are high. And it's cold by the glacier, maybe 32. Maybe even colder.
Sembra un marmo blu. Ma sì, però non si vedono queste cose.
This is Captain Bruno.
Ehi, Capitan Bruno. Vice Capitan Bruno. Questo è il lavoro delle ferie.
Bravo. As.
Dov'è? Ah sì. Guarda che mi frega subito. No, aspetta che ne metto su di più di uno.
Oi.
Metti fuori. 4, 5. No. Metti su. No, che fregone. 6. Guarda che fregone. Qua. Metti qua. 10.
Brava. Scegli. No, è pequeno.
Ma l'hai lasciato per vincere, dai.
I was taught this game in Fiji. An American kid had played it from Long Island, and then she taught all the Fijians, and then everybody in the village got hooked on the game. So instead of us doing cultural interaction and learning Fijian dance, everybody, including the Americans, played this game of spit all day long. Ok, pronto? Pronta? 1, 2, 3.
Aspetta, così. No, aspetta.
No, no. Oh, yeah, ok.
Quanti 9 ho?
Ok.
Non va bene.
Ma si deve veloce. Oi. Smetti. Oh. 7.
Sai che sul vocabolario che ho io
Sì.
ci sono tutte le parolacce italiane tradotte in inglese, lo sai?
Mi dispiace.
Ti ricordi quella volta che è arrivata a casa dal liceo?
Con Germana? Ricordi?
Non so se era Germana.
Ah.
Che è tornata a casa e ha detto un'espressione Rebecca.
No, non ricordi?
No, con Germana cosa è successo?
Eravamo insieme. Ho detto che Germana è figa.
Sì,
Okay.
Today is August 8th, and we're just approaching Cannery Cove in Tybus Bay. We've just had a spectacular morning and afternoon, blue sky from horizon to horizon, and a flat sea, cool, clear air, and we were entertained by a spectacle of about 10 whales as we were approaching Gambier Bay. I came into this cove with David Eunice about 1 week ago. It was foggy and rainy and miserable, and we really couldn't see any scenery. So now it's a treat for me to actually see it. It's just like a very nice bowl with those mountains wrapping around the bay. A Japanese friend of mine said he spent 4 days in here and it was one of his favorite spots. And he said that he saw 5 grizzly bears on the shore. So maybe we'll see a bear. That would be very nice. Okay, we haven't caught any salmon today. We trolled for a while, but when I pulled up my line, there was a small bass on it. So it's catching it, but we're going to cut up the bass for a crab bait. Maybe we'll get some crab. Very pretty spot. he would be, grandfather, grandfather, is all I could say. Just thought I would take a picture of the giant flag, our courtesy flag for Bruno and Pierre. By the way, Daniel just made us a wonderful lunch of grilled cheese and salami sandwiches and hot chicken soup and beverage. Very nice. Served it up in the flying bridge as we moved along. I should also say what a pleasure it is to have people like the Brunos and Daniel along. They enjoy the scenery, they're enthusiastic. Of course, they've had beautiful weather. But even if it was raining, they would be enthusiastic. And it's really a pleasure to go all out today. Pierre was hoping that she'd get to see Balena, which means whale. I was pretty sure we'd see them around Gambier Bay, so I pretended to call on my cell phone and put in a reservation for 2 women and 1 male to show up at noon. Well, they showed up at 11 o'clock, so that was a lot of fun.
I'm in my office.
So today's August 10th, and Daniel is standing on the base of Baranoff Falls with a net, trying to catch salmon, which are, I don't know, I think they're here to spawn. I'm here with Bruno and Piera and Daniel. We're having beautiful weather. We went to the hot spring and then walked up to the lake. We caught coho salmon this morning, which Bruno prepared, and then we gave some steaks to a neighbor, and he gave us about 6 pounds of halibut. Bruno, watch Daniel. Daniel the hunter. Oh, you know you can do it. There's our boy. There's our boy, carrying a little salmon home. Good for you, Daniel.
Daniel! Ma no! Ma dai! Bruno! Prendi che guarda che salmone ha preso!
Ha preso il salmone?
No, prendi una macchina fotografica, qui, è qui, è qui che sta arrivando, guardalo! È più grande di te!
It's from reading the Bear magazine. I was reading the National Geographic.
National Geographic, sì!
You didn't think I was gonna get it, did you?
Vai là, vai là!
Be honest, you didn't think I was gonna get it.
Okay.
This is a sport I invented called competitive dinghy racing. That's all. I'm one of the leading racers.
Today is August 12th, and we're in Pavlov Harbor, and it's Bruno's birthday. He's 59. It's the last day except one, and it's another gorgeous, gorgeous day. We've just had magnificent weather for an entire week, and caught an 8-pound coho on the way in. This is Pavlov Harbor, about 37 miles from Hoona. There are fish jumping all around us. A lot of fishermen were trying to, recreational fishermen were trying to catch the jumping fish, but didn't. But we were lucky enough to catch our fish trolling coming in here. Let me go past the sun here. There's a brand new boat over there, and we're going to take them some fillets because we have much too much. And the guy on the boat said that there's a big grizzly bear that came down last night to eat fish near that waterfall, which is right around the corner. So maybe tonight we'll see the second Bruno. Anyhow, everything's going fine. The winch sounds a little sick on the anchor, but otherwise we're okay. Tomorrow we go to Hoona and then the cruise of 2001. Wonderful way to end it. It's July 26th. It's been a week or two since I've videoed anything. We're anchored behind Keene Island in Wrangell Narrows, and I'm with the circuses, Julius and Angela. It's the last evening of their trip. The sun is setting, and as it peeks underneath the trees, you can see actually a double rainbow, but the second one doesn't show up. We've had nice weather all week long. Really just a little sprinkle of rain on the first day. Some cloudy weather, some sunny weather, not too cold, just fine. Tomorrow we'll head into Petersburg, and in 2 days I'll pick up my cousin David.